Welcome to this video. Today, you are not just going to hear a summary of a book. You are going to hear something that could change the way you look at your entire life. This video is not about tips or tricks. It's about something much deeper. Something that millions of people around the world are searching for. And maybe you are too. What if I told you there's a Japanese word that holds the secret to a long, happy, and meaningful life? And what if I told you that this word is not just a word, it's a way of living, a way of waking up every morning with peace, energy, and clarity in your heart? That word is Ikigai. Now, before we begin, I want you to know, yes, this video might be long, because I will not rush this. I will explain everything in a way that even if you're hearing it for the very first time, and even if your English is very basic, you will understand it deeply, step by step, slowly, clearly, powerfully. And trust me, if you stay with me till the end, this might be the most meaningful video you've ever seen on YouTube. So now, let's begin the journey. Part 1. What is the meaning of life? Let me begin with the story. There was once a Japanese woman, a mother, a teacher, a kind human being, who suddenly fell into a coma. Her body was alive, but her mind was somewhere else. Doctors were not sure if she would survive. Her family stood beside her bed, crying silently. But something strange happened while she was unconscious. She said she found herself in a completely white space. Quiet. Peaceful. Still. And then she heard a voice. The voice asked her a question. "Who are you?" She answered softly, "I'm a mother of 4 children." But the voice replied, "We are not asking what you do. We are asking, who are you?" She thought for a moment and said, "I'm a school teacher." The voice repeated, "That is your profession. But who are you?" She said, "I'm Japanese. I'm Buddhist. I'm a woman." And every time, the voice simply said, "That is your culture. That is your religion. That is your gender. But still, who are you?" And in that moment, she realized something. She had spent her entire life playing different roles: wife, mother, teacher, citizen. But she had never really asked herself that one powerful question. Who am I, without all of it? The voice then said, "When you know who you truly are, you may return." And just like that, she woke up. Not everyone believed her story, but she didn't care, because from that day on, she lived her life differently. She began searching for something deeper, not a job, not a title, not a routine, but a reason to be alive. A reason to wake up every morning. A reason to smile, even on bad days. A reason to exist. That reason is what the Japanese call Ikigai. So, what is Ikigai? Ikigai is a beautiful word that means the reason for being. Or, in simpler words, the reason you get up in the morning. It is not just about making money. It is not about being famous. It is not about what society tells you to do. It is about something that lives deep inside you. A quiet voice that says, "This is why I'm here." Some people find it in their work. Some find it in taking care of others. Some find it in art, or teaching, or building, or growing food, or even just sharing smiles. But the important thing is, we all have one. You have one. I have one. Everyone has an Ikigai. The problem is, most of us forget to look for it. So how do we find it? That's where the 4 questions come in. These are not questions you answer quickly. These are questions you sit with. You reflect, you write, you think. And slowly, your real self begins to appear. Let's look at these 4 questions, one by one. Question 1. What do you love? This is the first and most important question. What is something that makes your heart feel alive? something that gives you energy, not takes it away. Maybe you love cooking. Maybe you love writing stories. Maybe you love helping people, fixing things, solving problems, dancing, planting trees, cleaning your home with love, singing songs, or listening to others. This is not about what makes money. This is about what makes you happy. That's the first part of Ikigai. Question 2. What are you good at? We all have something we are naturally good at. Some people are good listeners. Some are good with their hands. Some are good with numbers. Some are great with children. Some are great at understanding how others feel. This doesn't have to be something the world sees. Even if it's something simple, like being a peaceful person in a chaotic world, that is a gift. Ask yourself, what do people often thank me for? What do I do well? Even if I don't try too hard. That's the second part. Question 3. What does the world need? This is not about saving the entire planet. This is about looking around and asking, how can I help someone today? Maybe your village needs fresh food. Maybe your friend needs someone to talk to. Maybe your neighborhood needs someone to care for the elderly. Maybe the world needs your voice, your kindness, your way of thinking. Ikigai is not selfish. It is about using what you love and what you're good at to make the world a little better. That's the third part. Question 4. What can you be paid for? Let's be honest. We all need to survive. But Ikigai says, what if your purpose could also support your life? Maybe you love teaching and you're good at it. Can you offer online classes? Maybe you love baking. Can you open a small bakery? Maybe you love writing. Can you write for others? This does not mean chasing millions. It means doing what you love in a way that also feeds you, supports your family, and gives you a stable life. That's the fourth part. Now, when you find something that answers all 4 questions, what you love, what you are good at, what the world needs, and what you can be paid for, that is your Ikigai. And when you live with Ikigai, you don't just survive, you live. Let me give you a real simple example. There is a woman named Maria. She's 32, and she lives in Brazil. Every morning, she wakes up at 5 a.m. and begins to bake. She prepares fresh bread for her small town. She doesn't own a big company. She doesn't make a huge income. But when she bakes, she feels alive. She forgets her stress. Her thoughts become calm. She smiles without trying. She gives her bread to others with love. And she earns just enough to live a quiet, peaceful life. Now think, what does Maria love? Baking. What is she good at? Creating beautiful recipes. What does the world need? Her town needs fresh, healthy food. What can she be paid for? Her bakery provides just enough income. This is her Ikigai. And the beauty is, your Ikigai doesn't have to be big. It just has to be true. Part 2. Understanding Ikigai and the Circle of Life. In the last part, you discovered 4 powerful questions. Questions that help you find your reason for being. But now, let's go deeper. Because the Japanese didn't just create the idea of Ikigai. They created a simple and beautiful diagram, a circle, to help people find it in a clear, powerful way. This is known as the Ikigai Venn diagram, and it's one of the most famous tools for self-discovery in the world today. But before we talk about the parts, let me explain the idea behind it. Imagine your life is a puzzle. You are not just your job. You are not just your dreams. You are not just your talent or your responsibilities. You are a combination of all these things. And when they connect in the right way, you feel whole. You feel peace. You feel purpose. You feel joy that is deeper than happiness. That is what this circle helps you find. Now let me explain the 4 parts again, but this time in a deeper way, with more understanding. 1. What you love. Your passion. This is something that fills you with energy. You lose track of time when you do it. You feel alive, creative, free. You don't need motivation when you do it, because you do it out of love. But passion alone is not enough. There are many people who love painting or writing or dancing, but they struggle because they can't turn it into a full life. So passion is just one piece of the puzzle. 2. What you are good at. Your profession. Now imagine you're really skilled at something. Maybe it's teaching or coding or designing. This is your profession. It's the thing you can do better than most people. But sometimes, people are good at things they don't love. They're stuck in jobs they hate. They're successful but empty, because they're missing the heart. So profession is another piece. But still, it's not the full picture. 3. What the world needs. Your mission. This is about service. It's about giving your life meaning beyond yourself. It's when you use your passion and skill to do something that helps others. A mission gives you a reason to grow, a reason to get up every morning, even when things are hard. But again, if your mission doesn't support your life, it becomes stressful. So this is a key part. But still, it's only a part. 4. What you can be paid for. Your vocation. This is where purpose meets stability. It's where you use your gifts to make a living. Without this, you may struggle with financial worry. You may feel lost, even if you love what you do. Because we all need to support ourselves and our families. In some way. Vocation is your way to survive. With dignity. Now watch what happens when these 4 things connect. If you combine what you love and what you're good at, but don't help others, you feel satisfaction, but something feels selfish or incomplete. If you combine what you're good at and what pays well, but don't love it, you feel trapped. If you combine what the world needs and what you're paid for, but you're not good at it, you feel like a fake. If you combine what you love and what the world needs, but don't get paid, you burn out. But when all 4 connect, when you do something you love, something you're good at, something that helps others, and something that supports your life, that is your Ikigai. That is the circle. That is your center. That is where your soul finally feels at home. Example. Let's take a new example. David, a 45-year-old chef in Italy. David grew up loving food. As a child, he watched his grandmother cook fresh pasta every Sunday. He started cooking with her. He loved it. He felt alive. That's his passion. Then, over the years, he became really good at it. He studied, practiced, opened a small kitchen. People loved his food. That's his profession. But David didn't want to just make money. He wanted to give something more. So he started a small program to teach young kids from poor families how to cook, giving them skills and confidence. That's his mission. And yes, he earns enough from his restaurant and his classes. That's his vocation. So now, David wakes up early, cooks with joy, teaches with love, and lives with peace. Not just because of his career, but because he is living at the center of his Ikigai circle. Why this circle is so important? Because many people live their whole life in only one corner. Some live in passion without income. and struggle with money. Some live in profession without love and feel empty. Some live in mission without skill and feel insecure. Some live in vocation without purpose and feel stuck. But those who live with Ikigai, they live in the center. And that's why Japanese elders, even at the age of 90, still wake up early, garden, cook, talk, walk, teach, paint, dance, sing. Not because they have to, but because they want to, because they found their reason to live. That is the magic of the Ikigai circle. It's not just a diagram, it's a mirror. It shows you who you are and who you were meant to be. And now that you understand the circle, let's move to something even deeper. Part 3. How to find your own Ikigai. Now comes the real question. How do you find your Ikigai? Because it's easy to say, follow your passion. It's harder to know what your passion is. It's easy to say, do what you love. But what if you don't know what you love anymore? That's what we'll solve now. Slowly, carefully, and with love. Step 1. Start by remembering your childhood joy. Before the world told you who to be, before money, before fear, before pressure. What did you love doing as a child? Drawing, singing, playing outside, helping people, building things, solving puzzles. Those small things often hold big answers. Even if you can't do exactly the same thing now, the feeling behind it is a clue. Step 2. Notice what makes you forget time. Have you ever done something and hours passed like minutes? That's called flow. And flow is a sign of Ikigai. Think, when do you feel completely focused? What activity makes you forget to check your phone? What makes you feel this is me? Maybe it's cooking. Maybe it's fixing machines. Maybe it's writing or creating or walking in silence. Start there. Step 3. Listen to compliments you always receive. Sometimes others see our gifts more clearly than we do. Ask yourself, what do people often thank me for? What do they always say I'm good at? Maybe you're the friend who always listens. Maybe you give the best advice. Maybe you organize things beautifully. Maybe you always make people laugh. These are not small things. These are keys to your purpose. Step 4. Explore. Don't decide. Finding Ikigai is not like finding a perfect answer in one day. It's more like trying on different clothes. You experiment. You explore. You try things. You notice what feels natural. You notice what drains you. Give yourself permission to try new things. Volunteer. Join a workshop. Start a small side project. Help someone for free. Take a class. Write a blog. Plant a garden. And slowly, your Ikigai begins to reveal itself. Step 5. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Your Ikigai will never come to you while sitting and overthinking. It comes through action. It comes through movement. Even one step a day is enough. Maybe you work a full-time job and you're tired. Start with just 10 minutes a day. Doing something you enjoy, something that feels meaningful. That small habit can become your new identity. Example. Let's meet Aisha, a 28-year-old woman living in Kenya. She works as a receptionist in a hotel. It pays the bills, but she doesn't feel inspired. One evening, a guest asked her to recommend a walking tour in the city. She said, "I'll show you myself." She walked the guest around the town, told stories, showed art, shared food stalls. And when they returned, the guest said, "You should do this for a living. You're amazing at this." Aisha felt something shift. She loved storytelling. She knew her city deeply. She had energy. People loved the way she explained culture. Now, every weekend, she organizes walking tours. She makes extra money, meets new people, and finally feels alive again. That's her Ikigai. And it started with just one walk. Finding your Ikigai is not a big loud moment. It's not a lightning strike. It's a quiet discovery. It's when you say, "This is what I'm meant to do." And you feel it, not just in your mind, but in your heart. And once you find it, even if you earn less money, even if you work harder, even if nobody else understands, you will wake up with energy. You will feel proud of who you are. And you will stop asking, "What's the point of my life?" Because now, you'll know. Part 4. The 4 Secrets to a Long, Happy, and Healthy Life. Now that you understand what Ikigai is and how to find it, let's go deeper. Because the Ikigai book doesn't just teach us how to live with purpose. It also teaches us how to live longer. Not just live more years, but live more beautiful years. So the question is, why do so many people in Japan, especially in Okinawa, live to 90, 100, even 110 years old? Is it medicine? No. Is it money? No. It's their lifestyle, their way of eating, moving, thinking, connecting, and living with purpose every single day. Let's explore the 4 big secrets of these joyful, long-living people. Secret 1. A healthy relationship with food. Harahachibu. In Okinawa, people follow a simple rule. Harahachibu, which means eat until you are 80% full. They don't overeat. They stop when they're slightly hungry. They eat slowly. They respect their food. They never waste. Their meals are full of vegetables, tofu, sweet potatoes, small amounts of fish, rice, green tea, miso soup, seaweed. They don't count calories. They simply eat mindfully. They treat food like medicine. In most parts of the world, people eat until they feel heavy. In Okinawa, they eat until they feel light. This small habit is one of the biggest reasons they live longer. They don't diet. They honor their bodies. Secret 2. Keep moving. Even when you're 90. In most modern cities, old people sit all day. In Okinawa, they move. Every day, they walk, they garden, they sweep the floors, they stretch, they raise their hands to the sky, they cook, they shop, they serve, they care. Movement is not just about gym or exercise. It's about living in motion. Even the furniture in Okinawa helps this. Most people sit on the floor. That means every time they sit down or stand up, they're stretching their legs. They don't go to a gym, but they live longer than people who do, because they don't stop. Even at 95, they keep their bodies alive. One small step at a time. Secret 3. Strong community and connection. In Okinawa, people are part of something beautiful called a moai, a small group of friends who support each other for life. They meet regularly. They share food, stories, tea, laughter, sadness, memories. If someone falls sick, the group helps. If someone is lonely, they visit. If someone is happy, they celebrate together. In most cities today, people feel isolated, but in Okinawa, nobody is alone. This deep connection keeps the heart young. It gives people a reason to live. Because they are not just living for themselves. They are living for each other. Secret 4. A clear purpose that never retires. This is the biggest difference between Okinawan life and modern life. In most countries, people work hard all their life, just to retire and rest. But in Okinawa, people never retire from purpose. Yes, they may stop a full-time job, but they don't stop living with Ikigai. A 102-year-old man may still play music. A 97-year-old woman may still tend her garden. An 89-year-old fisherman may still go to the sea for a few hours. Why? Because when your heart has purpose, your body keeps going. They don't wait for the weekend. They don't wait for vacation. They don't wait to be free. They are already free by rasasti, because they are doing what they love every day. Example: Mr. Kamada wakes up at 6 a.m. every day. He stretches his arms, eats a light breakfast, and walks around his tiny garden. He plants flowers. He checks on his vegetables. He calls his friend to ask if she's doing okay. He fixes small tools. He drinks green tea. He laughs often. And at night he goes to sleep with a smile. He says, "I don't know when I will die, but I know I will live until the very last day." This is the heart of Ikigai. Not living forever, but living fully, for as long as possible. Part 5. Retirement, Work, and Health. The hidden truth. Now let's talk about something that almost nobody wants to hear. But Ikigai teaches it clearly. Retiring early may not always bring happiness. In fact, for many people, retirement leads to sadness, boredom, loneliness, and even early death. Why? Because we are not made to do nothing. We are made to create, connect, grow, serve, learn, move. When people stop working completely, they often lose their sense of identity. They start asking, "Who am I now? What do I do all day? What is the point of my life now?" This is not about working in an office until you're 90. This is about never retiring from purpose. Even if your job ends, your Ikigai must not. Real story. Tomoko, 87-year-old seamstress. Tomoko spent 60 years sewing clothes. She retired at 72. But after 1 year of doing nothing, she felt tired, anxious, and useless. One morning, she saw her old sewing machine in the corner. She turned it on. She began stitching small pouches and handkerchiefs. Then she started giving them away at the market. People loved them. They gave her hugs, smiles, and thank you letters. Now, at 87, she sews every day. Not for money, for love. She says, "When I sew, I feel young again. My hands remember, my mind becomes calm, my heart is alive." Tomoko didn't return to a job. She returned to her Ikigai. Work is not the enemy. Meaningless work is. You are not made to do a job you hate for 40 years and then sit on a sofa forever. You are made to find something meaningful. And do it in any way you can, for as long as you can. Even 10 minutes a day. Even one act of kindness. Even a small creation. That is how you stay alive. That is how you heal. That is how you grow. Part 6. The power of focus and flow in daily work. Now let's talk about something beautiful that the book Ikigai teaches. Something that can transform your everyday life. It's called flow. Flow is a state of complete focus. It's when you're doing something and you forget time, you forget hunger, you forget stress, you're fully present, fully alive, fully yourself. Flow is not about big goals. It's about full attention. When do you feel flow? It could be when you cook a beautiful meal, write something from the heart, paint or design or sing, organize your space, help someone in pain, meditate or walk in nature, fix something carefully, build a project, a model, a business. You don't do it for rewards. You do it because the activity itself feels like a reward. This is flow, and it's one of the keys to a long, meaningful life. Example: Kenji works in a small workshop in Japan. He makes wooden spoons, just spoons. No loud machines, no marketing, no fame. But every day he holds a piece of wood like it's alive. He shapes it slowly, with care. He smooths the edges. He polishes the surface. He watches how it catches the light. Hours pass. He doesn't look at the clock. When someone asked him, "Don't you get bored making spoons?" he smiled and said, "I'm not making spoons. I'm making peace with the world. This is flow. It's not about being busy. It's about being present." How to enter flow in your own life. Start small. Turn off your phone. Choose one task. Do it slowly. Do it with love. Forget the result. Just enjoy the process. That could be washing the dishes. That could be watering plants. That could be writing your thoughts in a journal. The world today is full of distractions. But flow brings you back to yourself. And once you find flow, you feel light. You feel clear. You feel alive. Not just existing. So if you're feeling lost, if you're feeling tired, if you're feeling like life is passing too fast, don't look for escape. Look for flow. Give your full attention to something small. And let that be the first step back to your Ikigai. Part 7. 6 Simple Rules for a Meaningful Life. The Daily Wisdom of Ikigai. Now that you understand what Ikigai is, you might wonder, how do these people actually live every day? What are their habits? Their mindset? What do they do differently from the rest of the world? Because it's not just the big ideas that change your life. It's the small things you do every single day. In Okinawa and in many peaceful villages of Japan, people live by a set of quiet principles, not shouted, not printed on billboards, but passed down from elder to child, from heart to heart. Here are 6 timeless rules that guide them. Simple words, but if you feel them, they will change you. Rule 1. Take it slow. Modern life is fast. Japanese life is intentional. Walk slowly, breathe slowly, eat slowly, even drink tea slowly. Because when you slow down, you feel life. And when you feel life, you feel peace. Rule 2. Surround yourself with good friends. They spend time with people who make them laugh, cry, share, grow. Not fake smiles, but deep bonds. A circle of people who would walk beside you through fire. That is worth more than gold. Rule 3. Get in shape for your next birthday. It's not about having abs or six-packs. It's about moving every day, stretching, breathing, taking care of the only home your soul has, your body. Even gentle movements give strength. Rule 4. Reconnect with nature. City life can make us forget that we were born from the earth, not concrete. Go to the trees, walk barefoot in grass, look at the sky, touch water, sit in silence near flowers. Nature doesn't speak, but it heals. Rule 5. Give thanks. Every meal, every morning, every gift, every person. They say thank you, not just as words, but as a way of living. Gratitude softens the heart and brightens the spirit. Rule 6. Live in the moment. Forget the past. Don't chase the future. Focus on the moment in front of you. With your full heart. They don't multitask. They do one thing at a time. With presence. With peace. And finally, the most important, do something you love, that you're good at, that helps others, that supports your life. And do it not just as a dream, but as your daily reality. Part 8. Life Lessons from Okinawan Elders. Now let's step into the hearts of the people who've actually lived with Ikigai for 90, 100, even 110 years. In the Ikigai book, the authors visited the village of Ogimi in Okinawa, the place known as the Village of Longevity. There they spoke to dozens of elders who were still healthy, happy, and living with purpose. And what these elders shared was not science. It was soul. Let me give you some of their most beautiful lessons. Elder 1. Don't worry too much. This was said by a 102-year-old woman. She laughed and said, "Life gives us problems, but worry is a second problem we create ourselves." She didn't mean to ignore problems, but to face them without fear. She said, "When you don't worry, you can think clearly. When you think clearly, you find solutions. And when you find solutions, the problem disappears." Elder 2. Always have something to do. A 99-year-old fisherman said, "I may not fish like I did before, but I still go to the sea. I still feel the wind. I still fix my nets." He explained that humans need motion, not madness, but meaningful movement. His health stayed strong because his purpose never left. Elder 3. Talk to people. Even if you're sad. Many elders shared this. They spoke to neighbors, shopkeepers, friends, even for just a few minutes, even if it was about nothing important. One woman said, "Talking is like breathing. If you don't do it, your soul becomes heavy." Elder 4. Keep learning. A 91-year-old man was learning how to play a new musical instrument. He said, "When you stop learning, your brain starts dying. I'm not afraid of death. I'm afraid of boredom." This lesson is powerful. Age does not kill people. Emptiness does. Elder 5. Do something that makes you feel useful. They don't care about fame or big success. They care about being needed. Helping a friend, cooking a meal, telling a story, tending a plant, singing a song. One said, "As long as I can give something to the world, I am alive." These are not motivational quotes. These are real voices, real lives, real people who have found the quiet joy of Ikigai, not in books, but in how they live every single day. And if they can do it, so can we. Part 9. The Japanese Secrets of Longevity and Joy. Let's now go even deeper, because behind all these habits, behind all these smiles, there are deeper cultural values that shape the Japanese way of life. Values that most of the world has forgotten. Let's explore them now and understand how they create a life of balance, beauty, and quiet strength. Secret 1. Simplicity. Japanese homes are small. Their clothes are light. Their meals are simple. They believe less things equals more peace. Less noise equals more clarity. Less pressure equals more freedom. In a world full of more, they choose enough. Secret 2. Cleanliness. Clean space, clean heart. They believe your surroundings reflect your mind. They clean their homes every morning. They take care of their gardens. They remove what's old, broken, or unnecessary. This creates space, not just in their homes, but in their minds. Secret 3. Ritual and respect. They turn simple moments into sacred rituals. Drinking tea, greeting someone, preparing a meal. They bow with respect. They speak with softness. They treat the elderly with deep honor. Life becomes more meaningful when lived with mindfulness. Secret 4. Wabi-sabi. Beauty in imperfection. They don't chase perfection. They embrace imperfection. The cracks in a bowl, the wrinkles on skin, the fading color of autumn leaves. They believe what is broken is not ugly. It is full of stories. This makes life less stressful and more forgiving. Secret 5. Harmony with nature. Nature is not a place to visit. It is part of their identity. They walk under trees. They listen to birds. They grow food with their hands. They celebrate the seasons. While much of the world tries to control nature, they choose to live in harmony with it. Part 10. Laughter, joy, and the lightness of life. The therapy of the soul. Now let's talk about something that many people forget when they think about living a long life. We often focus on diet, movement, discipline, purpose. But what about joy? What about laughter? In the village of Ogimi, the village of long life, there's something you'll notice quickly. The elders laugh a lot. They joke with each other. They tease. They play. They celebrate birthdays, sing songs, wear colorful clothes. They don't take everything too seriously because they understand something the modern world forgets. Laughter is not just happiness. Laughter is medicine. Why laughter extends life. Modern science has now confirmed what Japanese elders always knew. Laughter boosts the immune system, lowers stress hormones, improves blood flow, reduces pain, heals emotional wounds, and most of all, brings people together. You don't need to go to a hospital to heal your heart. Sometimes all you need is a good joke, a silly dance, a funny memory with a friend. How to add more laughter to your life. Don't take yourself too seriously. Laugh at your mistakes. You're human. That's beautiful. Spend time with light-hearted people. Be around those who lift your energy, not those who bring you down. Watch something that makes you laugh every day. Even for 10 minutes, comedy is medicine. Be playful. Dance, draw, tell jokes. Be weird. Be alive. Laugh with your family. Even if they annoy you, find a moment to smile together. Sometimes people ask, how can I laugh when life is hard? The Okinawan elders say, that's why we laugh, because life is hard. So let joy be part of your Ikigai, not after success, not after peace, but as a path to peace. Let joy be your therapy. Part 11. Life's Greatest Lessons. A final reflection. Now we arrive near the end. But this is not the end of a video. This is the beginning of a new way of living. Let me now bring together the most important, unforgettable lessons from this entire journey. Lessons that are not just for today, but for your whole life. 1. You were not born to suffer. You were born to live. You are not here just to pay bills, not here just to obey, not here just to be tired. You were born to feel joy, to love, to create, to grow, to contribute, and to smile at the sky. 2. Life is not about what you do. It's about why you do it. A simple job done with love is more beautiful than a big job done with stress. A simple meal cooked with care. A simple plant watered with attention. A simple child hugged with presence. That is life. That is Ikigai. 3. You are never too old, and it's never too late. You can begin again. You can start today. Even if you feel lost, even if you're 60, even if you think it's over. Ikigai doesn't care about age. Ikigai only asks, what will you do with this moment now? 4. Purpose doesn't have to be big. It has to be true. You don't have to change the world. You just have to do something that feels honest, simple, and meaningful. Even if only one person smiles because of you. Your life has meaning. 5. You already have everything you need. You don't need more degrees, more followers, more clothes, more fame. You just need time. You need attention. You need courage. And you need love. And you already have that inside you. Example. There was once a young man who watched his grandfather die with regret. His grandfather worked hard his entire life. Saved money, bought property, followed rules. But before he passed away, he said something the young man could never forget. I waited my whole life to live, and I ran out of time. That young man made a promise. He would not wait. He started writing. He started walking in nature. He started learning to play music. He started smiling more. He earned less, But he felt more. He helped more. He lived more. And 20 years later, he still remembers that moment, not with sadness, but with gratitude. Because Ikigai gave him the strength to live before it was too late. Part 12. You were born with Ikigai. Don't die without it. This is the final part of this journey. But maybe it's the first chapter of your new life. There's a reason this book has reached millions of people around the world. Because Ikigai is not a trend, it is a truth. It reminds you that you don't have to chase happiness. You don't have to wait for success. You don't have to compare yourself. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to find the reason you wake up every morning, even if nobody claps, even if nobody understands, even if it's quiet and simple. Example, yes, you. You are watching this not by accident. Maybe your soul was ready to hear these words. Maybe your heart was waiting for permission to live again. So here it is. You're allowed to restart. You're allowed to smile again. You're allowed to follow your curiosity. You're allowed to become the person your younger self dreamed of. Ikigai is already inside you. And if you still don't know what it is, that's okay. Start small. Start now. Start again tomorrow. But never stop. When people in Ogimi, Japan, were asked, "What is your secret to a long and happy life?" They didn't say, "Be rich." They didn't say, "Work hard." They didn't say, "Win awards." They said, "Stay curious, stay kind, stay connected, and wake up every day with something to do." That is Ikigai, and that is what I hope this video has given you. Not just a summary of a book, but a doorway to yourself. You are not broken. You are just waiting to begin. So take a deep breath and begin. So what did we learn from this journey? Ikigai is not a goal. It's not something you chase. It's not in the future. It's the quiet reason you open your eyes in the morning. It's the small joy in doing what you love. It's the peace of knowing you're needed. It's the power of waking up with meaning, not noise. You don't need to move to Japan. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be present and true to who you really are. Find your Ikigai and live it gently, fully, beautifully. Thank you for walking with me through this journey. I hope it touched your heart. I hope it gave you clarity. And I hope, somewhere inside you, it helped you begin again. If this video made you feel something, even a little, please leave a comment, share it with someone you love, and subscribe to this channel. Not for the algorithm, but so more people like you can feel alive again. Take care of your mind. Take care of your heart. Take care of your purpose. And always remember, you were not born to be lost. You were born to live with Ikigai. I'll see you in the next story. Until then, stay alive, stay gentle, stay true. Bye.